Hey guys, my next guest is Lloyd Sherr. Let's go see what he's up to.
Can't think of anything more boring than watching somebody reading copy.
My name is Lloyd Sherr. You may know me as Max Raphael. No, not that Max Raphael. He's an art critic, and he's dead.
Are you ready?
We'll do my 60 Minutes interview. I have no idea. It's just never happened.
We're not going to get very
That's
far.
a question for my lawyer.
No, that's not how you do it.
How did I first come across? Do I still get nervous going into a voiceover session? Is that what your question is? That is great to know. I told you, sometimes I get nervous in between panic attacks. And yes, I do. Unless it's like a regular gig that I just show up for, and then I'm not nervous. I'm not fully confident, but I'm not nervous.
What was or is your favorite voiceover job that you ever had?
The last one. Because that's the one that keeps reminding me that I'm in this business. That's the one that keeps reminding me, yes, I'm going to be able to pay, the mortgage. Yes, I'm going to be able to take care of my kids' education. Yes, they still like me. They really like me. And it's always the last one I did. But aside from that, I would have to say either Fillmore for Cars 2 and 3, particularly 2, because they picked me up in a limo. They put me on a plane, they picked me up in a limo, they brought me to the studio, they fed me, gave me the tour, drove me back in a limo, put me on a plane, put me all in a day. I felt like I was somebody. And other than that, it's like 15 years of doing modern marvels has got to be, 15 years of doing anything is like, in the voiceover world, that's a good job. That was my favorite job, and I met a lot of nice people. With my 4th or 5th year on the road with the Royal Shakespeare Company.
That's good. So do you do impressions?
I've done impressions, but nobody wants them anymore because they can hire fucking Patrick Stewart to do it and he'll do it. Or even worse, Ian McKellen.
I want to talk a little bit about modern marvels.
I have had a few long-term gigs in my life. Like right now, it's a fairly long-term gig. It's been going on for 4 years. On DirecTV, first went on the air. I used to do all their promos and trailers and stuff, and that lasted, I think, 7 years. But I've always had jobs that were completely unrelated to each other. I've had my book period. I've had my commercials period. I've had my promos period. And then I sort of went into documentary period. And I did a couple of shows before I ended up doing Modern Marvels, which was my long-term gig, which was 15 years. And we did 430 some odd episodes. And the idea, it's like, you can be secure in a certain level, but it's just like if they don't happen every week, you just go, did they fire me? Did they fire me? And this went on really for 15 years, Are you hearing Gemma? She's doing a little tap dance thing.
We'll get a shot of her later and
We'll cut her in.
She does a tap dance because she's a good dog. And she scratches a lot because she has dry skin.
Oh, baby.
So you get a chance to really know the producers, you get a chance to know the writers, you get a chance to really become tight with the recording engineers. We recorded it at one place, and it was like family. It was really like having a job but not having a job. I didn't have to be there every day, but the time that I spent there felt meaningful. The relationships were meaningful. And it was just great doing the gig. It was a wonderful time in my life. People thought I knew everything. It's just like, oh, you work for Modern Marvels? You must know everything about Kepler. You must know everything about, the Andromeda Galaxy. You must know everything about how they make, name it. And I'm just going, no, man, I just sort of read it, and then I forget about it. Unless it was about food or booze or coffee. But yeah, to be able to come in every week and just go, now the incredible story of rats on Modern Marvels. I actually adopted a pseudonym for the show because a couple of things that were involved, but mainly it's just, I thought, yeah, I mean, I'm going to have credits for this, and I've never really had credits before, and do I like the name Lloyd Sherr all that much? And then I thought about my kids' names, which are Raphael and Max, and I just decided, Max Raphael.
What was it like taking over the role that George Carlin played?
Well, I mean, it was just an audition that was thrown out there. I figured it was a crapshoot. It was literally just, an audition done at, the agent's office. It was for a game. It was, Cars had already been released. It was, a year old. I think, George Carlin had passed away a few months ago. And, let's audition for it. And I didn't expect to get it because there are certainly guys who are more gifted in the area of mimicry and impressions than I am. And I got it. So it was just one of those, really? Okay, well, I can do that. So it started out as a game, then it became 2 games, and then it became, I think the short followed it, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, a couple of years later, they're doing Cars 2. And really, they're not going to hire a celebrity to do it? Yeah, okay, I'll do it, sure. Not a problem. And from there, more games and more little, things that are attached to it. And then Cars 3 came along, so hopefully we'll get to Cars 12, and I'll still be doing it. And I loved it. I mean, George Carlin's been a hero of mine since I was, 14. He's always been one of my favorite comedians, and being able to do it was a real honor. A little scary. Just because, everyone's going to go, that doesn't sound like Carlin. You call that a Carlin? So. I even had some voiceover guy who told me, you got the Carlin gig? I said, yeah. Well, how? I'm amazed because, another guy that we both know, that guy does Carlin. I said, well, maybe he just didn't, show up for the audition that day. I don't know. But that's how things work in the business. It's just like sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't know, and you'll never know why. You just show up, you do the best you can, and you wait for the check. I could do it as Fillmore, but it'd be so much easier if I was, I don't know, man, like loaded. There were so many people that I know that had that Volkswagen van when I was a kid. So I spent a lot of time doing a lot of stuff in those vans. So I'm telling you, man, it's more than groovy. It's more than out of sight. It's more than, I don't know, man, wicked. And you're not going to ask me to give advice to people getting in the business, right?
Why not?
You know what my advice is? Get out! Every piece of advice I would ever give to a person will be based on the kind of person they are and what they want. I mean, there's no blanket advice like always maintain a positive attitude and always go in there knowing I'm the guy and blah, 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 and it's got to take this. And that's why people who ask my advice never, ever call me again. Because I don't tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is a business that if you stick it out and you really enjoy doing it and you can tolerate the yards of rejection, then do it. Because as far as jobs are concerned, there is no better occupation in the world. None. There's nothing. I mean, it requires zero responsibility. I can go to any restaurant I want. I can do, I can carry on life as just a normal schlub, which is really all I kind of want to do, and make money doing something I really enjoy doing. So if you can stand the rejection, and if you can stand the uncertainty of just being a freelance person, you just don't have to take anybody's. You don't have to hear it from anybody. You don't have to go home. My boss was really mean to me today, or that director was such a bastard. You never get that in voiceover, do you? I mean,
You've been doing this a long time. Tell us about when you used to have to go into the networks to record your promos.
Lloyd, can you get down here? It's like 9:30 at night, and it's just like, can you show up? And it's like, we got to do it. It's like satellite's going to be up in 15 minutes, and blah 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 blah. When that was a thing too, And it's just like, yeah, you get down there. And I took my son to one time. And it's just like we drove across the freaking, across Laurel Canyon as fast as we could freaking go and got to TV City, parked the car, walked through the maze that is TV City to PC 23, got in. Lloyd, thank God you got here. Great. Raphael, sit down. We went into the booth. Okay, you're ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, weekdays. And we went home. All the nice guys were like, the Danny Darks and the Mark Elliots of the world. And Mark is a hero of mine. I mean, he did CBS and all the Disney movies for like decades. And he was just Cheers. It's like you felt good as soon as he was up. So he had that. That was natural. But Townsend just completely like turned it on its ear. He not only sounded good, he invented stuff in a thing that's everything is about time constraint. He did it anyway, So he's one, and he's as a person, he's also one of my favorite people. So
Maybe there's a reason you're here. Maybe there isn't. Maybe you'll fall in love. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll find meaning or purpose or a calling. Maybe you'll spend the whole time in search of it. And so be it. That's the point, anyway, of life. It's why we wake up every day. Not necessarily to find out what it all means, but to try and give it meaning. And the only thing we truly want to know is that we'll be able to wake up tomorrow and try again.
that's it. That's 30 seconds. It's all you get for free. Let's eat.